Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to take you through how to cut and sew a 3-part corset cup with a Smock back. So in my last tutorial I showed you guys how to draft the pattern. This is all about the sewing process. As you guys can see, I have the pattern here. This is for the front and this is for the back. For the front, I've gone ahead to cut everything out. I've added my seam allowance of 1/2 inch to this cup area and to the top here. For the cup, I added 1/2 inch seam allowance all round. Now for the back, I split the back pattern into two, and this is why, as you guys can see, this center back area is longer than this. The reason why it's like that is because I'm going to be doing a shirring at the back here. At the center back, I'm going to use an elastic thread to stitch this down so that it will gather up a bit to make it stretchy. To be able to do that, you want ×2 of what you have for the center back. So that is what I have here. So another thing to notice is that I have iron stay to all of the pieces, and what I have here is the lining and the fabric. I have 2 pieces for this here, as you guys can see. So one will serve as the lining, one will be the main fabric, and I iron stay to the lining and the fabric. So it's better to iron stay to your fabric before cutting. So that's what I did for everything here. Everything I have here is the lining and the fabric. So you're going to cut on fold. When you cut on fold, you get everything. So for this center back, there's no lining piece because I'm going to be running an elastic thread through all of this. So what I did was I added 1.1 inch seam allowance here, because all of these parts, they have 1/2 inch to turn the lining and the fabric. So because this is just the fabric alone, I added enough seam allowance here so I can double fold this edge to make it look neat. So after double folding, then I will attach it to this. And I'm also going to double fold with the zip allowance area since there will be no lining. That's why I have about 2 inches zip allowance here. So now we're going to get right into the sewing. The main materials you actually need is the stay material that you're going to iron as interfacing. You're also going to need a wording piece, but I've also joined that one already. As you guys can see, this is the wording piece. I cut out the cup on the wording piece and I've joined it separately already. So you want to do that, although it is optional, but this is the wording piece. You are also going to need boning and the elastic thread that's going to be used. So let's get right into joining all of this together. We're going to be starting with the front. So let's move this aside first. First thing I'll do is to separate all of this. So if you watched my last video, you know that these two were actually separate patterns, but I joined them together as one just to save the sewing time. Okay, so this is what I have for the lining and the main fabric. As you're separating this, you want to join it together so you do not mix it up. So you notice the parts that to be together. Pin it down so you won't forget. Then you know these two parts are also to be together. I'm going to pin it down. Same thing here and here. Okay. So for this, you're going to join it. After pinning the cups together, I'm going to go ahead and use the 1/2 inch seam allowance I added to join everything together. Then I'll go ahead and add the top part of the cup. You want to make sure that you don't mix the center front and the side for this top part. The thinner part here is obviously the center front, so I'm just making sure that it matches with what I have joined. You're going to go ahead and pin this down and then stitch it using the 1/2 inch seam allowance. So after sewing this, I'm going to repeat the same thing for all of the cup piece for both the lining and the fabric. So guys, I've gone ahead to join all of the cup and this is what I have. The next thing to do is to iron all of this. To iron this, you're going to need your tailor's ham and you just want to place this on top of the iron. You need a lot of steam for this. As you guys can see, this is looking really nice. I'm still going to press it too, but look at the difference. So you want to make sure you iron this very well. I'm done ironing everything. So here's what I'm going to do next. I want to explain it for you guys before I start. So remember, I have the wording cup here, and I already joined it separately. This is also including seam allowance, just like this. So this wording, I want to fuse it with the cup. After I have ironed wording to it, I'm going to pleat another fabric over it. So this is not the final look for the corset cup. In the style I'm making, there's going to be a pleated fabric covering the entire cup. Now the second thing is the boning. For the boning, I want it to be on the lining part of the corset and not the main fabric. So what I want to do is get the boning lines. To do that, I already have the crease line for the midpoints. I'm going to iron it out. Okay, just like that. So this is where the first boning line will be. Then the second one is going to come here, just like the midpoint of the cup. So now another one is going to be here. So just like that. I'll fold it again and iron it. So by pressing everything, I'm just enhancing the boning line for each of them. So now when I open this up, you can see everything is showing. You can't see it properly because the stay is white, but the crease line is there. Let me show you that from the front. Look at this. This is the easiest way to create your boning channel. So because I'm doing it on the lining, I don't want to use a bias to create the boning channel. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fuse two bonings together. So I'm going to be using the stitchable boning and the plastic boning. What I'll do, this ridge line boning, I will sew it right on the crease line first from the back on the lining, okay? And then insert the plastic boning through it. So you want to make sure that the plastic boning is slimmer than the ridge line boning. That's another name for stitchable boning. Okay, so that is the next thing I'm going to do. Start from the back, stitch this, then do this part here as well. So you don't want this getting into the seam allowance. So I'm going to let it start from 1/2 inch away from the top and stop 1/2 inch before the end here. So let's do that. So far, this is what I have. I've stitched down the boning for each one and I've ironed it so that it stays straight. So this is what I have. Next thing you want to do is to insert the plastic boning inside. You want to cut it to be the exact length and melt the edges so it's not sharp. So I'm just checking it. Okay, this is for this. So you just want to pass it through this way. This is what it is looking like. So now I'm going to attach the cup to it. For the lining, I'm not adding the wording to the lining part. I want the lining to be on the main fabric so that it can stand properly when I'm dripping the fabric on it. So for this one, you want to get the side that belongs to here. So this is for this side. This is for here. Okay, just want to pin it this way. So you want to stitch it all around using the 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm going to do the same thing for this side as well. What I was doing was a bit cut off, so I decided to show you guys again. So I was explaining that you're going to attach the cup to the lining part without the wording. So this is it. I've attached it, and now I'm going to notch all of this curve so that it can relax well. Now we're going to fuse the wording and the other cup together. So guys, this is what I have after attaching the cup for this side. Now the next thing to do is to work on the other side for the front. So first of all, you want to iron the wording and the fabric together. To do this, you're going to need hemming gum. You just want to arrange it like this. Want to place the cup right on it, making sure it's the same side. You want to match the seam lines. So start from the top, because this is the easiest side. Make sure you stretch the fabric out on the wording. Then for this side, you want to flip the hem this way to really target this. So I'm going to start with this line here, so I can really get it right in the middle. I'm holding it down, and then I'll use a steam to press it. Okay, after that gets in here, now I can move to all of this. Stretch the fabric out so it doesn't shrink. Just do the same thing here. So this is it. This is what I have. You are just going to trim off the excess wording. Okay, so guys, now the next thing I want to do is to drape the fabric on this. This is the fabric I'm going to be using. So you just want to place it right on top, and if possible, do it on bias, on the bias side of your fabric, because that side will stretch more. So this is the bias, this triangle area here. So to form the plate is very easy. You're just going to make sure that you pin this down, because it's the only way the plate will stay in place. So I'm just making tiny pleats on one edge of the cup and securing this down with a pin. Then I'll go ahead and complete it on the other side of the cup as well. To make this easy, put a tailor's ham underneath the cup when doing this. After securing the drapes with a pin, go ahead and stitch it down all round, then trim off the excess. So I'm going to stitch this down off camera and then trim off the excess fabric. Then go ahead and iron it out to lock it in. This is what the front is looking like so far. So we want to get the front part ready. This is the lining, and this is the main one for the front, which will be attached this way. I'm going to be joining the front separate and the back separate. So I won't be doing an inseam finishing for this. For an inseam finishing, you join the lining separate and the entire main fabric separate. So let's leave this aside first. And for the back, remember I added 1.5-inch seam allowance to the top here. So what I'm going to do now is to fold this in and fold the zip allowance in as well before I join it to this side back. After double folding these two sides, then I will attach these two together. So I'm going to sandwich this in between the lining and the fabric for the side back. I'll show you guys how to do this. So let's start with this. I'm going to use a chalk to mark the wrong side, just so it doesn't mix up. So this is the wrong side for the both of them. I hope you guys can see the chalk on camera. So this top part, since this is the wrong side, you want to double fold this inwards this way. So you want to use 1/2 inch, fold it in by half, and then fold it in again. Okay, so I'm going to pin one side, and then this side I'm also going to fold it in with 1/2 inch, then fold it in again. So you want to stitch right on the edge, and I'm going to just use a pin to hold it down. For the zip allowance, remember I said I was going to double fold it. So when I double fold it, I have enough, half an inch and another half an inch. I've left it half an inch, which I'll use to fix the zip. So I just want to do that here as well. So let me do it at the bottom. Remember, this is the pattern, so this downside. I'm just folding it and pinning it first so that I don't mix up the up and the down or the sides later. So after I have pinned these points, then I can go ahead and finish it up. So with this, I don't need to worry about where the zip allowance is or the upper part or the right side because I've pinned up the main points. So now I can just separate this properly and finish it up. I'm going to keep on double folding it and then stitch right on the edge and do the same thing for this side. So guys, after stitching down on the edge, the next thing to do is to join the two sides with the back together. I've done this one already off camera and now I want to show you how to do the other side. So you basically want to sandwich this center back in between the lining and the fabric for the side back. So here's how I'm gonna get it done. This side back that's meant to be attached to the center back, I'm gonna go ahead and place it like this. So this is how I'm going to sew it normally. I'm making sure that I leave the half an inch seam allowance on top so I can cover that up later. Okay, now the lining piece, I'm also going to place it underneath from the other side and pin the two of them together, leaving the half an inch seam allowance so that I can stitch down on the top without stitching into the center back that's gonna be smoked later. After properly securing it, I'm gonna go ahead and stitch it at the top, at the center back and on the other side as well. So I'm gonna have to tuck in the center back so that it wouldn't get in the way when I'm sewing this down. This is going to cover up all of the rough edges all round and sandwich the center back in between the lining and the fabric for the side back. So I'm going to stitch all of this all round and then I'll get the same results for the other side. Now for this front piece, you want to just face lining and fabric together, right sides facing each other. Now I have a tiny strap here I'm going to be inserting through. So I'm gonna put this right here. It's in line with the bust span line. I'm just measuring it out for you guys to see. But whenever you're attaching a strap, I let it flow with the bust span line, okay? I'm gonna pin it this way and do the same thing on the other side before joining. Now this strap, you want to make it extremely tiny and just cut something about 16 inches long. I'm making it tiny and very long because I'm going to be making the straps adjustable. So I'm going to be adding the adjustable plastic to it later and I'll show you guys how to get it done. After stitching it, this is what I have. I'm just trimming up the corners so that I can turn this out and have a sharp edge afterwards. So this is what I have after stitching. You can see now that the seam for the center back is completely hidden and sandwiched inside the side back. You want to trim off all of the excess and notch around the neckline for the front. It is the only way that the neckline is going to relax properly. And this is what it looks like. The next thing to do is to create the shirring at the back. I've done for one side already. Now I want to take you guys through how to do the other side. So there are two types of thread you are going to need to get this done. One is an elastic thread and the other is a normal thread. The elastic thread, you're going to put that one in the bobbin, and for this you want to make sure that you use your hands to roll it in to the bobbin, making sure that the thread does not stretch when you are doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna just do this. You can see that the elastic thread is really stretchy, so you want to make sure you're not stretching it at all when you're rolling it onto the bobbin, else you're not going to be able to achieve that effect. Just gently roll it like this until you get the desired amount that you want on the bobbin. After doing that, the next thing to do is to draw out the lines for smock and the back. So for this, it's very important that you use an equal distance between each one and that the lines are straight. If not, it is going to be obvious. So I'm using a half an inch distance between each of the lines. I'm just using my ruler to mark it out. And now I'm going to make sure that this shirring design doesn't get into the allowance around the zip and around the waist. So you're going to thread at the top of your sewing machine like you normally would. The only difference is that the bobbin thread is going to be an elastic thread, and you're just going to go on with the sewing as usual. You see that the shirring effects will start to form. The first one won't make much of a difference. The second one wouldn't give you that effect that much yet. But as you continue to progress, you will see that the fabric will start shrinking, and then you would have the shirring effects on your corset. So I'm gonna do this all the way to the end, and then you guys will see how much the fabric has shrunk by the time I am done sewing this. So guys, as you guys can see, the strap is adjustable, so you can make it super small, or you can elongate it more if you want. So if you want to make an adjustable strap like this, you want it to be times 2 of what you would normally use for your strap. So for the corset, let me say I took off about 4 inches of the bodies. So I want the strap to be 4 times 2, 8, and then I multiply that 8 by 2 to give me 16. So that is what I have here. So everything in total should be 16. Now, to make the adjustable straps, you're going to need two things. You're going to need this round transparent thing. If you can get the matching color, then that's perfect. Then you're also going to need this. I hope you guys can see the difference. So this is it. This round one will be the one that will be attached to the back that the strap can pass through. And this is the main one that will do the adjusting work. I'm going to show you guys how to do that now. First thing we're going to do is attach the round one. So that's what I'm holding. I hope you guys can see it. So this round one will be on the back. So you want to determine where you want the strap to rest. I want it to rest half an inch away from here. So just right here, like I did for this side. This is where I want it to be. So this round one is going to be here. But you need something to hold this round piece down. So you're going to grab another fabric. This is something I could have done on this side and make it an inseam finishing. But if I put it here, it's not going to be in the position I want it to be, which is why I'm moving it into this a little bit. So you want to get a strap that is about 2 inches wide. Okay. Then grab the round one, put it through. Then you want to fold it and attach. So you want to attach it like this, like about half an inch away, but you can't just attach it like this. I'm going to have rough edges. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make one longer than the other, like this. Then fold this way. I folded the longer one once, and I'm going to fold it again. So that's where I've covered up the rough edge, and I'll stitch it down, then go ahead and attach it here. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. So now that this has been attached, the next thing I want to do is to pass the strap through. So for this side, you just want to place the corset exactly how it will be, assuming it has been joined together. So this is how it will be. Now the straps, you want to grab it, make sure it's not twisted. Okay. So now you want to grab this other one and put it through. So you just want to, first of all, make sure the strap is not twisted. Okay, then put it through the first one. You know it has two holes. Put it through the first one, bring it out, and put it through the other one. So remember what I explained, that this will help the strap to be able to adjust later. So this is what I mean. You can see it's moving. Now you want to grab the strap and pass it through. So just pay attention to where I'm taking it from. I'm not doing it from the inside, I'm doing it from the outside. So after passing it through, you're probably wondering, so what's going to happen to this? How is it going to be adjustable? We want to pass it through this again, but this is going to be really tricky. So you want to pass it from here outwards, then fold it up. So to make it easy to do, I'm going to raise this one up. So that has created space. Now I can pass it through. So I'll start from here. I'll pass it from here. If you are still not able to push it through, use a pin. Or so I've been able to pass it through the first one. Now we want to pass it through again. And while you're doing all of this, make sure that the strap is not twisted so that you won't have to lose it again. So this is going to be a little tedious, but if you are patient with it, it shouldn't take you more than 3 minutes to do. True, I've been able to do that. Now I can drag it out. So with that, I can now readjust this, and now the strap is almost complete. So this is what it is looking like. So for this rough edge, you want to just fold it in and then bring it to here. Watch where I'm holding it to, the strap that is underneath. So we are now going to go ahead and top stitch here. After top stitching it, the strap is complete. After fixing the strap, next thing to do is to join the sides. So I'm just going to bring the front is to join the sides. So you want to make sure that the lining and the main fabric are okay. Once you have confirmed that, you want to just bring this one this way. So remember that this is for the boning. So you want to stitch half an inch away and just insert a boning through. So back to the joining, make sure that the strap is not twisting up. If not, you are going to end up losing everything again. So right now, we've been able to do that. So you're just going to pin it this way and stitch using your half an inch, using your seam allowance. But it's advisable to always cross-check your measurements before you just take in the seam allowance. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Stitch down, and with that the corset is almost ready. So this isn't actually like a complete corset top because I'm going to be attaching it to the dress. If you're not attaching it to a dress, then you want to bias the hem of the corset and then fix your zip, and the corset is ready. So after joining the sides, I'm going to attach it to the dress that I'm making it for and then fix the zip, and that will be all for the tutorial. So guys, this is the dress that I made. This is just a layered dress, and I already have a tutorial on my channel on how to sew a summer dress with layered tiers. So it's basically the exact same technique that's going to be applied from sewing the skirt and then attaching it to the corset. So you can go ahead and watch that tutorial if you want to learn how to make the layered skirt and attach it to the corset. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more tutorials like this because a lot more videos is coming for you guys. Stay tuned, share with your friends, and give this video a thumbs up so YouTube knows you want to see videos from my page.